Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today is maintenance day. It is not on the Benz, got no parts. The Benz is waiting on brake shoes. I sent all the old ones out for relining, and that's the other video that's coming out somewhere. But anyway, today is working on the old family van. The pretty much indestructible Honda Odyssey. Yeah, still keep our old family vehicle. It's nice when you have a bunch of folks. We actually used this for Halloween. We had a ton of kids. It came in handy, comes in handy when the in-laws come in, you know, and stuff like that, or friends, lots of friends. It's always good to keep it around. It's not expensive to maintain, cheap to register, cheap to insure. It's a family van, right? Today is the idle control valve. This thing has, so the idle control valve on this is, what does the idle control valve do? When you first start your car and you got that high idle, you know, before you go to the closed loop circuit, which means it's getting feedback from the O2 sensor and everything else, that little valve adds more mixture to the engine so it can raise the idle and continue to running when it's cold. It also raises the idle when the engine is under load, like if you pull your power steering or the AC compressor kicks on. That idle control valve will open and manipulate the idle. What happens on these from this era of car, not just, it's on Honda, but it's on Toyotas, other things. Looks like a doohickey. A lot of these have a rotating barrel in there. As you can see, it's a little electric motor, and there's a thing in there, there's bearings, and there's a piece that, there's like inside of this cylinder, there's like a little barrel that opens, and it lets the fuel mixture in more or less, right? It's like a little servo. But what happens is, because it's in the intake, it gets full of carbon over time. And that carbon is real harsh, right? Carbon is like burnt things, and it's like grainy. It will actually chew away at metal, and that's what happens. For one, when you build up enough carbon, that little rotator piece gets stuck. It can't shut. It can't open sometimes. So you'll get a rough idle. You'll get hard to start when it's cold. That's where my problem is with this. So anyway, I originally, when I get some tools going while I'm talking, I originally had a idle problem about 3 years ago. I took it apart, I cleaned it, but it was in such bad shape that, you know, I had to like scrape away at the little cylinder with a screwdriver to get that carbon off and such. And, you know, I caused some damage to the surfaces. I mean, it worked for the most part. It fixed it, you know, it fixed the obvious problem. And then it worked for about, you know, last 2.5 years. Okay, but now it's starting to have issues again. I'm going to remove this cover to get to the throttle body. It's located on the bottom of the throttle body, usually, because it has to let mixture past the big butterfly flap. So yeah, I've been having starting problems. It takes a lot of cranking, and then when it does light off, it's a little rough. So I'm just finally changing it. The original one from Honda is about $300 something or $280. I don't remember now. it's stupid expensive. But I bought one. I found some on Amazon. Were in the $20 range, $30 range, but I can't get those. They will not ship anything emissions carbureted related to California from Amazon. So I have to go, other avenues like eBay. I'm kind of really selective on getting things on eBay. Because a lot of the time it's junk, especially when they're no brand. I bought one that's reputable. I think it's Standard Motor Products. Yeah, it's a Standard. So it's a known reputable brand. I paid $70 for the valve off of Rock Auto. I trust Rock Auto. Don't sell crap. Like Amazon and eBay. So I'm gonna take my chance, but it was $70, not the $25 I could get it someplace else. But it's time to do it. This is the one vehicle I don't drive much. It's the one vehicle I don't drive much, but I need it working, because when I need it, I need it. So I can't be like not fixing it correctly. So I'm gonna try to get the valve out without pulling the throttle body. When I had it out last time, I left the screws. It has Phillips head screws. It's on the bottom, and the screws come in from the bottom side right there. The screws were super tight. Like, I had to break them loose with needle nose vice grips. But I snugged them when I put it back, thinking I may be able to swap the valve without pulling the throttle body. So the throttle body, it's not hard, but there is a ton of shit on it. Plus the throttle cables, which is the hardest part. But there's 4 nuts to pull the throttle body. So if you're doing it for the first time, you're gonna have to pull it out. There's 4 nuts, one here, one there, one down there, one on the back side. You gotta pull the intake piece that goes to the air filter, remove all your connectors and hoses, vacuum lines. I'm gonna try to shortcut it, see if I'm successful. Find me a stubby Phillips. If not, then I gotta pull the throttle valve. I'm gonna try the stubby screwdriver method. See if I can do it or not. In fact, I can break the screw loose, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. Nope, I can't. I gotta pull the throttle body. Got the throttle plate out. I'm not gonna remove the cables because I can get to the valve up here. See, I was never gonna break those loose. Those are gonna need vice grips. So I grabbed the head of the bolt and I used the screwdriver at the same time to try to turn it and break it loose like that. So there's the old one. So you can see the old one here. And if you look in there at that barrel, it's got carbon on it. Like that barrel right there is supposed to rotate. And you can see there's crud on it. You can see there's carbon inside the passage. You see all that stuff in there. That's what jams it up. So, and it prevents that from turning. I will take it apart because it's the, it's the old one running out of battery here. So we got a little gasket with that guy. And I'm gonna put the new one on. But you saw how hard them screws were, and those were removed 3 years ago. All right, so I'm putting the valve back in. My GoPro crashed and it stopped recording after this. So, but you could see it's just complete reassembly backwards from the disassembly. All right, I had to mess with the GoPro and get my phone before I go for a test drive. It's been idling. I put all the covers on because I'm pretty confident that I got all the vacuum lines. We'll take it for a spin and gonna do one more restart. See what it like starts when it's warm now. All right. Take the AC off and turn the AC back on. Power steering. Yep, idle is right where it needs to be. There. Let's do this. Yeah, it idles pretty good. This thing's got 175,000 miles on it. It's got only maintenance I did on the motor is under warranty. I had the rear seal replaced because it leaked right after I bought it used. So I got a brand new rear seal. Then I did a timing belt kit which had the water pump, got an OEM water pump, all the pulleys, belt, replaced all the seals, the main crank and the two cams. That was at 105,000 miles. So the transmission is a rebuilt. I got that under warranty too. So this is actually a really good mechanically sound vehicle, and I keep it because it's huge. You know, this thing's got all the seats, it's got cargo. And when I go to Home Depot, I just take this versus a truck because I can close this. I can actually put a, believe it or not, I can put a 14-foot pipe in here if I need to. It fits on the corner of the dash, and I can still shut the rear door. So this is a very versatile vehicle. going to the beach. It hauls the bikes and things. I have a roof rack for it. I do have air ride on this in the back. I actually have a pressure gauge and a thing for it here, a little switch. It's for when I tow or really load up heavy stuff in the back. Not with people, you know, like if I'm doing a regular road trip, it doesn't need to add air, maybe like 5 psi in the bags. But what it was when I was towing a boat and such, it came in handy because it bottomed out the back of the van, especially when you add the boat and then you're you know, put all the people in the back and stuff and picnic and you know how it goes. Alrighty, gonna call that one good. Gonna call that one good. Oh, that is one of those 5-point torques. That I had a special tool specifically for that. The question is, I think it's in my crash kit on the truck. I don't use them enough, and if it's extremely special, I will keep it on the truck because it's more important that I have it in the field than here at the shop. If I really need it here at the shop, I can always get it out of the truck. I do have this little kit, but I don't think this guy had 5-pointers because the screws stick out. You can use a needle nose vice grips. Needle nose vice grips come in very handy in a lot of places. Little guys. So you can see it's a Torx, but it's a 5-point. It's not a hex. So that's a little motor, and this guy, and it's jammed up. You can feel it. It does not turn freely. So let me try to get a flashlight here. See in there, see that little barrel rolling? And you can kind of see how it's scratched up from me cleaning it once long time ago. And now that I've been messing with it, it actually it moves freely. But when I first grabbed a hold of it, it was sticking. There was carbon. And the carbon can even get into the bearings. They are sealed bearings in there. You could, I think, I couldn't get it apart because I didn't want to damage it. But you could probably tap this thing out and get them bearings out. But anyway, that's what's in there. You know, now that I freed this one up, this one would probably work, but just because it's all scratched up in there and it's full of crud, and I'm kind of done messing with it, you know, really. It's an emergency car. I need it to work when I really need it to work, so I'm not going to mess with it. But I will hold on to this one as a spare unit. So that's it, idle control valve. So once again, hey, thanks for watching, and until next time.